This is the Captain's Jug of Thoughts podcast. Recorded at the Ontario House, the Stone Jug.
Captain's Jug of Thoughts. We're in the back of the very, very quiet jug tonight. This is the NPR jug.
It is very quiet.
It's quiet. It's nice because everybody say good morning to the captain.
Yeah.
Good morning, Captain. We'll play that Black Crow song.
Yeah, we're going to need to. I just got up from a little nap, a little snooze. Feeling better.
Yeah, good. You're a little refreshed.
I'm very refreshed.
On the way here, coming down River Road, I was literally like, we were in the car, and I'm thinking, I'm a little beat. I'm a little mellowed out tonight. I don't have a lot of energy. And then I see something appear, and it's a fucking big deer. It's right in front of us, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then my girl not slammed, but very quickly we hit the brakes and moved forward, and like this thing was right in front of it. Like we really almost could have hit it if we didn't notice it.
Wow.
If it was darker out or it came out quicker, like it was not a super close call, but pretty close.
Well, that'll wake you up.
Yeah, and then I was like, all right, I'm ready to go.
Show's on.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. This one's gonna be intense.
Yep.
Dude, I mean, I don't want to bogart it right off the top here, but like me and my buddy were coming back from the movies one night, and we saw like I think that Will Ferrell ice skating movie, so we were laughing and having a
Blades of Glory.
Yeah, having a great time, laughing. We're coming down the hill, down the Lewiston Hill, talking about how funny the movie was, like literally laughing. The music's playing, and then in the lane next to us was like a camper van with like Ohio license plates, just slammed a deer coming down the hill.
Really?
The deer came out and it slammed it, and like deer parts just exploded in front of us. This car's swerving. It looks like it's about to tip over. This
Oh my God.
car part, dude, like an explosion of blood and legs and car parts, and it was loud and violent, and it happened. We were just laughing and having such a great time. We're like, that was
That's crazy.
And like it was an old couple who rented a thing and were, I guess, probably going to the falls, going over to Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
And like this dude was shaking. I felt so bad. And
I
like,
bet.
we hung out, made sure they were okay, and there was deer all over the road, and the cops came, and we were like, we gotta go.
You see every once in a while on the thruway, those enormous, spots of blood.
Yeah.
And you're like, 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
Hit a deer. Like, oh, my God.
Dude, and the deer just didn't stand a chance.
No.
We were in a Prius. That would have that'd be a fair fight.
I saw that in Florida one time. I was on Alligator Alley, and there was an alligator tail, like in the middle of the road.
So it just got chopped.
Yeah, it was, and it was like, there was like blood all over the place. Like it was.
That's rough.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I was like, whoa, it happens with other animals.
Yeah, because like that's their deer down there, right? I guess.
Well, there's deer, but the deer down there aren't nearly as big as they are here.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like half the size.
Wouldn't an alligator eat a deer too?
I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there might have been a deer in the alligator when it got hit. Who knows?
I was riding down the road one day, and somebody hit a possum. Speaking of, we've done episodes before where we talk about fish, which to people who like fish is probably fun, and to people who hate fish, probably awful. Well, I mean, there's never been such a polarizing band, as like Fish and the Dead and stuff. Like if people love them, it's fucking religious, and if people don't like them, it's not even like passive. They're like, I hate them.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a great Instagram account called My Wife Hates Fish.
Really?
And it's a dude who puts up quotes from his wife when they watch the live streams, and she's just funny, and she just really hates him. She's like, oh, God, he's wearing that stupid-ass dress again. So it was really funny. But they're about to go back on tour.
Yeah. I'm pumped. I'm going to the show in Albany tomorrow night, and me and 3 of my buddies are driving out there. We got a hotel, and staying right by the old Knickerbocker Arena. And it's going to be a great time. I don't even know what the arena's called anymore.
Is that what it used to be called, Knickerbocker?
The Knickerbocker? Yeah. There's like there's a really famous dad bootleg called Dozin' at the Nick.
And that's that?
And that's that. So that's kind of exciting too.
Upstate New York is big for jam scene stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be great because you're seeing them right after a little break.
Right.
You know, and they're going to come out hot.
Yeah. They better.
I'm sure.
My only concern is that we can only go for one night, and they're playing 2 nights there. And you're always worried, am I going to get the good show?
Right? I think it will because it's the opening of the tour.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think they'll do some cool stuff.
I think so too.
Yeah, that is always like... and then, the people who aren't there are just like, well, why would you go see him 2 nights in a row? Because I've had friends who've, like, seen, like, McCartney. Like, Paul McCartney, they've seen him twice. And they're like, dude, beat for beat, note for note, the stories he told in between the song, it was an act. You know what I mean? There's a lot of bands like that.
There are.
And it's a huge thing, but, like, yeah, it's like almost like we watched the first half of a movie or something. And you didn't see the second half.
Exactly.
You're like, it's like a chapter of a book. You're like, well, they ended it off with something different. It's like a whole part of it.
Exactly.
And that's where the addiction starts.
Yeah. And I've seen the Dead and I've seen Phish like a number of times, and I've seen them play on consecutive nights and stuff like this. This will be the first time that I ever went to a show that they're playing another show at the same place that I didn't go. This is the first time, so I'm really worried about it because all the rest of the times I've always gone to see the second half.
So something bad's gonna happen.
Something bad's gonna happen. Thanks, man.
Or no, wait, something great's gonna happen.
Let's hope. Let's hope it's
something great's gonna happen. They're just like, you know what? They just sucked. They just decided to all switch instruments for every song except Walfredo. Strangely, it was awful.
And it was awful.
I don't know. I think even a shitty Phish show is entertaining.
No, yeah. I mean, it's going to be awesome. I'm really pumped about it. But like I said, I'm just a little bit like, man, kind of wish I was staying for the second night, and I can't get it out of my head.
Well, I'm in a bit of a similar predicament because we were thinking about doing Albany, but it's right in the middle of the week and it's tough. Right. So we were looking at shit to do for holidays. We usually go somewhere for Thanksgiving, and we're looking at trips. And then the idea of New Year's came up, and Phish is doing what are they doing, 4 nights at the Garden again?
Right.
Which is like they own that goddamn building.
Pretty much.
Like, I think this is like the 50th or 60th time they're going to play it. Like, they've been playing there since 94. And it's just, they own that shit.
Yep.
So we're like, fuck, like, let's do that. Like, we haven't done a show in a long time that wasn't at Art Park. We're so spoiled now. Because Art Park had a lot of great shows. Primus, Ween, Jack White.
Yeah, they really did.
Wood Brothers, like, there's so many great shows, and it's right around the corner. So now anytime there's a show that's
in your backyard,
less than 100 feet from my door, I'm like, ugh, that's so far. It sucks. I don't want to go do that. So we want to make it count. We got some points for the old hotel. Got a old hotel in NYC. I've never done NYC for New Year's. You ever been there for New Year's?
No, I have not.
I mean, I hate touristy shit, but so the energy in the city like that on a night like that. So but we have Phish tickets for the 30th. Because we tried to do the Ticketmaster thing, which turned out to just be horse shit. I don't know, the Ticketmaster of nothing.
Yeah, it was the master of these tickets.
The Ticketmaster baiter, because it was all a big fucking jerk off.
Right.
And the thing just clicks and just goes around and around and around. It says, we're looking for your tickets. And then it says, oh, you suck, never try again.
No.
So I ended up just
we don't have those ones.
going on StubHub and then looking, and like there's tickets that are above face value, but not by much, by like $20-$40. You know what I mean? And I'm like, fuck it. Like, we haven't done a show, and this is going to be a huge one. I don't care. Like, I'll go for it. So I found good seats on the 30th, not the 31st.
Right.
We're going to be in New York City for both nights. So I'm hoping leading up to the show, some ticket prices will drop, because last StubHub I looked at, it was like a $400 ticket for the nosebleeds behind the stage.
Yeah.
Which would be kind of cool, but I don't know. Like, I'm waiting for a better option to open up.
Hopefully.
Yeah, because I got the other ones for pretty good, and we got, good hotel rooms. So, like, I've never done an MSG anything. I've never been there.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, and so this is going to be, we're, like, right next to the stage.
Right.
I think we're on Mike's side, unless Phish has his drums all the way to the other side. the way they line up like that. Who knows?
Yeah, our tickets are like right at center ice.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So, or what would be center ice.
Yeah, on the floor.
So, yeah. So I'm pretty pumped. Like, we
Yeah.
got 3 tickets right there. You know, $90. You know.
It's just big, powerful.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm pretty excited for that because that's a big show.
Oh yeah.
So like even though the next night they're like that's the pinnacle of pulling out
Absolutely.
all the stops. They do all the shit. They might come out in a fucking hot dog. You know what I mean? They might.
You never know.
So I'm hoping maybe find tickets there, or hopefully the tickets. I don't know. Hopefully some miracle happens and they're like, hey, just come on in.
Hey, you over there.
Hey, yo,
come here.
You guys look cool.
Yeah. Why don't you come on in?
That's what you think. In the beginning of that Foo Fighters documentary, Dave Grohl, the first thing he says is, when I was a kid, I'd go to my fantasy was I'd go to my favorite band's concert and they'd just look out and see me and just invite me on stage and I'd play with them and they'd rock. And I'm like, that's every musician's fantasy.
Right.
So I still have that. I'm like, Trey's going to look out and go, you look like you know how to play some gumbo. I'm like, I do. And then we jam gumbo and become best friends. And yeah, I become the John Mayer to their band. I'm the young whippersnapper.
Right.
So yeah, we're both excited for that. And if you don't like fish,
I played gumbo last night.
Gumbo's the shit.
It is.
We played the other day. We actually literally did see a possum in the road, and it brought it up. So I played possum because I was obsessed with this shit when I was young. When I was learning guitar, I was obsessed with Trey. And then I kind of stopped paying attention for a little bit. And now I'm getting back into it and I'm relearning all this stuff. And now I get to teach my girlfriend about it, who has no idea any of this shit.
Yeah.
So the first time she heard meat stick, she was like, what the fuck is that? So it's exciting.
Yeah, it's going to, we're going to both have a great time. I'm really pumped. And then I got this trip Florida planned too.
Oh yeah, you're doing a Florida trip.
I'm also doing that right after Thanksgiving. I'm going to spend Thanksgiving with the family, and then I'm going to get on the plane and head down south. I lived there for a little while. I've got a bunch of friends there, and it just so happened I'm looking through the calendar, and being from here, I'm a huge Bills fan. I'm a huge Sabres fan. No matter I live and die with them. No matter how often they constantly die. And so I found that the Sabres are playing Friday night, and the same weekend that the Bills are playing the Dolphins on Sunday. And then I'm not sure, but I talked to my old roommate Sammy, and he said I don't know which night it is, but Mo is also playing a show there, and Mo is a local a band from here that is relatively big, but
oh yeah, they got their following. Mo will kick your face in.
Yeah, they're
great.
They're super fun. I actually, with Halloween coming up here, I saw them in I don't remember if it was Ithaca or Utica on Halloween about 12 years ago, 15 years ago. It was great. Rob came out in a Grim Reaper outfit, and they played "Don't Fear the Reaper."
Nice.
That's how they opened the show. Like, I'll never forget that. Like, I was like, that kicks ass. It was really great. And,
Mo is one of my favorites.
Yeah, they're super good, and they just lit it up all night. So
heavy guitar band, but also bass. They layer very well.
Absolutely.
There's 5 members. They're each doing their own thing, but it all flows together so well. They're a really great band.
Yeah, they're really, really great. So I'm hoping to possibly catch that too, and then one day out on the boat fishing, hopefully, and one day out golfing, and then I'll have to come back to the freezing cold weather of Western New York.
Yeah.
But I'm going to squeeze every little bit of fun that I possibly can in those 6 or 7 days that I'm there.
For sure. And it'll be one of those weird things where you text people back here, and they'll be like, it's actually really nice. Like, the whole week you're gone, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I know.
And then the day you fly back, you just get hammered with snow.
Right. Yeah, it'll be like 52 and sunny like every day that I'm gone, which is very nice for here in that time of year.
Yeah.
And then I'll get back and it'll be 29 and snowing.
So there's got to be, when there's like Bills I've talked to people who've gone all over the world and they find a Buffalo Bills bar.
Yeah.
And then there's like, people from Buffalo who have moved there for work or to avoid jail time or something. And you find like the brethren, you know what I mean? You'll be out there and you'll look across and you'll see people in the Sabres jerseys.
Right.
And it'll be like they're your cousin or something.
Well, my one of my very best friends in the world still, and all growing up, my buddy Ryan Crown down there. He lives in Bonita Springs, and he introduced me to this place called Buffalo Chips when I was down in Florida, and it's this guy that moved. Don't quote me on this part of the information, but he moved down from like Tonawanda in like the late '70s, and he started this place, and basically he makes wings. He has Labatt's Blue imported.
Yeah.
And other than that, it's just like your normal, place down there, just called Buffalo Chips. But a lot of people in that area of Florida are from this area. So the place is packed all the time. He has maybe the best wing sauce that I've had in I don't know how long, which is super weird.
And he does it with the blue cheese.
Absolutely.
Because it's insane. Like, we are living in a time of the most powerful communication tools ever known to man.
Right. Ranch is not a thing, people.
You go 3 states down, and they're all doing like they've never heard of blue cheese with wings. I don't understand. I could FaceTime with a guy in Tokyo right now, and we could trade all sorts of information. How is it not passing down there yet?
We haven't made it to Virginia.
No, we've been to the moon, and we can't get a bottle of blue cheese below Virginia.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It really is. It really, really is.
Elon Musk sent a goddamn car into space.
Oh, there's so much that we can do, but we can't get the blue cheese passed.
It just won't get down there.
No.
It's just, yeah. But that's good. So it's a home away from home.
Yeah, it really is.
Because he's sitting there, he's going, I love Labatt's, I love wings, I love watching the Bills.
Yep.
But I hate shoveling. I hate when the air hurts my face.
Right.
If there is only some way to do all of this without those other things.
Yeah.
And then he figured it out. Good for him.
Well, and one of the great things is, too, is like, if you come in through the back way, this is really funny, actually. So there's these little, like, cottages, and it used to be, like, almost like a trailer park behind it.
Yeah.
Well, they found out that it was actually a prostitution ring.
Nice.
So it wasn't a trailer park. It was
and
just
those were like the little shops, like Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah,
they
yeah.
do that one season?
And it was just like a bunch of little whorehouses.
That's funny.
With 1 or 2 prostitutes in each one, and you knocked on the door, you gave them $100, and you went in for 20 minutes and left.
The world's oldest profession.
Exactly. So that got broken up. But if you go in through the back, now it's a big parking lot. Like, there is still some shit back there, but it's a big parking lot. So a lot of people park in the back, which it's more comfortable to park in the back, quite frankly. It's just it's easier to get in, it's easier to get out. Like, you're not all jammed up in the front there. It's right off like Tamiami Road, which is a very busy road. It goes all the way from Tampa to Miami. Like, it's busy, So anyway. If you go in through the back, there's like a kind of a small waiting area, and like a relatively long hallway. And in the hallway, it's cool as shit because there's all these pictures, framed pictures all over the walls of like all the ex-Bills, and they're all signed.
Oh, nice.
And then there's a bunch of bands too, like Guns N' Roses and AC/DC, like all signed shit, like hanging in there, like of pictures of these guys. It's cool as fuck, man. Like that, right down there, like
guys who have been to that bar, right? Or
yeah.
Stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
How come they ain't no brothers on the wall?
It's there's Bruce Smith's up there with a bunch of wings, like 50 for himself.
Yeah, that's great. There's a bar that's near the stadium, the Buffalo. Well, it's not Rich Stadium. What the fuck is it called now? Is it New Era Field?
Yeah, New Era Field.
Okay, so there's a bar near New Era Field. And it's the same thing. It's like it's actually in Buffalo, but it's probably the same exact menu.
Right.
You look up and there's all the things. And I'm talking to the guy, like the owner, because I was with somebody who knew him. And we're talking about it. And as he's talking, I'm looking up. And then I see a picture of the guy I'm talking to with Shooter McGavin. Gilmore. I'm like, dude, that's Shooter McGavin. And I'm like, oh, dude, that's you.
Dude, that's you.
He's like, yeah, that guy's great. And he just comes in and he loves to have a drink and everybody knows him. And he takes pictures of people doing the Shooter McGavin thing and bangs a bunch of Buffalo chicks. He probably loves it because Shooter McGavin in Hollywood is that guy.
Right.
Shooter McGavin in Buffalo is fucking Tom Cruise.
Exactly.
He's like, people think he took a gold helicopter there.
Yeah, exactly.
He's been on the TV.
Yep. This guy's been on TV.
Yeah.
And he does that gun thing with his fingers.
Oh my God.
I can't believe he's here.
So that's exciting plans coming up.
Yeah, we got some fun things going on in our personal
Hopefully
lives.
some crazy things happen. We'll have stories to come back with.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll come up with something. My buddy Ryan, he complained because he didn't hear a shout out on the last show. He feels it's that he should be shouted at every show. So we're gonna try and that's gonna be a thing now.
Yeah,
where he gets a shout out, and I'm gonna tell a little story about him, like a 3 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute thing, because I got about 100,000 good ones on him.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make that a little thing,
a recurring segment.
Yeah. And then that way he won't be able to complain anymore.
You just start telling really embarrassing stories about him. Like, I regret making you do that.
I regret making you do that.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have a story?
Oh
Or is
yeah,
that
I got
it?
no. I got a bunch. So this one time we were. This was it was pretty bad. Like this one time we were not very good kids. We're pretty bad, and
It's fun to do bad things.
it was fun to do bad.
That
things.
video of that little kid who stole his grandma's car and like drove. He was like 8, and he drove his grandma's car around. And he like fucked it up and like caused havoc in the neighborhood. And the news was interviewing him. Like, why did you do it? And he goes, "It's fun to do bad things."
Yeah.
And I think of that every single day. Like
Yeah.
that's the quote of life.
Right.
It is. That kid's absolutely right. Kid's a little prophet. It's fun to do bad things.
My friends that live right down the street here, their son, he's a great kid, but he does do a lot of bad things. And one day she's like, "Q," she's like, "Why do you just keep doing this?" He's like, "I just like it." And she's like, "So you like to be bad?" He's like, "I like to be bad. I'm sorry." He's 4 years old.
Hilarious.
It's great. Like, and I'm not promoting anyone to be bad, but like, I get it.
Get it.
Like,
Little kids, it's the fun thing to do.
yeah, like I know I'm not supposed to do this, and that's why I'm going to do it. It's going to be
Yeah.
great, and I'm going to get in so much trouble.
But doing it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, she said, you're going to get in trouble, and he was just like, it's worth it. Like, you guys can't do anything bad enough to me to make me not do it.
Yeah. It's very sound logic for a young man.
Yeah, it is. Go to your room for 6 hours. No. And, after he screams and yells for 15 minutes, he ends up passing out, and he wakes up 2 hours later, and everything is forgiven, and they're,
Yeah. And in his tiny little brain, he doesn't even remember it.
Right.
He's on to the next thing.
He's on to the next bad thing.
Yeah.
Very bad things.
So you guys were very bad kids.
We were. So, the local police officer was constantly like stopping us and asking us what we were doing. We're 14, 15, 16, that general range. And he would constantly, because we were constantly walking around town. Like, it's a small town. It's kind of just what you do. You walk around and look for nothing to do.
Yeah. And you're
Pretty much.
bored and you just do dumb shit.
Yeah, you're very bored. And so, yeah, you do a lot of dumb things. We weren't, like, destructive. We were just, there's a lot of foul play. So, anyway, this one particular day, I don't know exactly the prelude to this, but we did something wrong. And someone either called the police or he found out or something like that. So we're walking down 3rd Street over here, and there's a small apartment complex behind it. And behind the complex, there is a trail that leads all the way through the woods to my old neighborhood. So we see him coming, and we're like, "Oh shit!" So we just start running, which more than likely we wouldn't have really gotten any trouble. But in our teenage minds, we're like, oh no, here come the cops, run.
Yeah.
So
in a small town where he knows all of us.
yeah, exactly.
Like he's never going to find us.
No.
We got to do Pony Boy and dye our hair blonde.
He could never find out where I lived. Never.
Yeah. Never.
So we start running, and he yells. He's like, Chris and Ryan, what do you do? You know, like whatever. And so we run through the woods, and as we're running, he falls. And when he falls, he yells to me.
The cop falls?
No.
Or your friend
my
falls?
friend.
Okay.
And he falls, and he yells to me, and he had fallen down, and a stick went right through his eye.
Ugh.
Dude, it was crazy and disgusting, and just like he might be the luckiest person I know that he's got a scar underneath his eyelid right here, like about a quarter to a half inch long, probably approximately, and there was zero damage to anything.
That's
somehow
crazy.
So we ran.
Eyes are so sensitive.
Dude, he's so lucky to not be blind in that eye. And it just like it happened perfectly, like thank God somehow. But he's like, dude, I think my eye's fucked up. And I'm like, oh my God, you know. So I rush him back to my house, but I can't bring him in my house because we just got in trouble and he's bleeding out of his eye. So I had an old fort that I built as a kid out in the back. So we went out into the woods behind my house and went into the fort. And then I went into the house and secretly called his father. And his father pulled up like 2 minutes later and jumped in the car and took him to the hospital. And, you know, he got a couple stitches in his eyelid and everything was fine.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it was unbelievable. So he's, full vision. I mean, it might be starting to go. He just hit 40 last week. So I'd like to give him a little happy birthday shout out, too. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Because your eye is like, you ever like hold your eye open and look if there's something in your eye and you go in the mirror and you're holding it open and looking at it?
Yeah.
And then you're like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Right.
It's like some alien shit. It's just in my head, there's two of them.
I know. And then you hold them open too long and they start to burn, you know, and you ever put like Visine in them and you're like,
yeah. You know? Think of all these things that are hurting your eyes. This kid had a stick through his eye. Nothing.
Yeah.
It was good.
Visine that's supposed to make it better is like, geez. Ooh.
Yeah.
You know, this thing was like,
that's awful.
Yeah.
I was cringing while you said that.
Yeah, I know. So, anyway, happy birthday, buddy. I'm glad your eye's okay, and I will see you in about a month and a half.
Yeah, you're going to party it up.
Yeah, and I won't forget your, he has to have his Canadian bacon, so I will bring your pea meal bacon down south.
That pea meal, whoever named pea meal and liverwurst, you guys need to do something about that. Not appetizing.
Canadians.
Yeah, poutine. Well, okay, poutine. And they call it cheese curds.
Yeah.
That's
the
awful.
Canadians,
it's awful.
They love shitting on their food.
There's an aesthetic thing. There's an auditory thing. I don't know. When you say filet mignon, doesn't that sound delicious?
It sure
sounds
does.
Awesome. Cheese curds.
On my poutine.
On my poutine. That sounds awful.
But it is delicious.
Yeah, it's good.
We actually had breakfast poutine here the other day at the Jug for our brunch. Yesterday. And it was delicious. There were no cheese curds, though.
No?
No
cheese curds?
No.
Is that sacrilegious to Canadians?
Yes, it is.
This is bullshit. Anybody get mad?
Ryan will be super mad. He will be.
That's their blue cheese instead of ranch.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
I know. We're sitting here saying that's gross. You guys literally have mold in your dressing.
Well, Young is out here. She's Canadian. Let's ask her.
She knows, and that's a very personal thing. They take it personally.
It is. Where is she? Hey, Young. I don't know if she's going to be able to hear me. But I just want to see what she says being Canadian about the cheese curds now that we're talking about it.
Start singing "Oh Canada."
She'll hear you.
Yeah, she'll come.
All right, here she comes. So we're going to get the Canadian perspective here. We're looking for the Canadian perspective on poutine. What? You don't have to be on the show. We just want to hear your input on, because we were talking about my friend who lives in Canada, and I have to bring him pea meal bacon, and that changed into how we did how he loves poutine with cheese curds, and how we did poutine yesterday here for brunch, and there was no cheese curds, and he said, "Isn't that sacrilegious?"
Some people get mad. That's the whole point. That's the whole part of it is cheese curds. And if you don't put it on there, I think a true Canadian would feel like that's not truly poutine.
I would say if you want to call it a poutine, you have to use real cheese curds.
Yeah, there it is.
Right?
That's what that's what we were saying.
Or you just call it like smothered eggs or something.
It's got to be something else. You lose the name poutine.
Or just call it smothered eggs.
Smothered eggs.
Smothered something.
Yeah, right. Those are just fries smothered in gravy with cheese. That's not poutine.
Doesn't count. You lose the name poutine.
Yeah. Yep. So there you have it. We just had to get the Canadian perspective on poutine. We were both correct.
Yeah.
I'd like to say that.
We're citing our sources.
No, growing up 6 houses down from a Canadian my entire life, I've known this since I was about 8. Because he's like, Hernan, that is not poutine. What did you bring me? If it doesn't have the curds, he's super upset.
This is a lie.
Yeah. We actually, at this buffalo chips place that I was telling you about that we're going to go to and that we went to and he introduced me to, he made them make poutine when we were there one time.
Really?
Yeah. It was so funny.
Did they do it with the curds?
Nope.
No, they didn't?
No, he was like, well,
lost
this
his
is
shit.
Yeah, he was not that happy. He's like, but being that I'm 1,000 miles away, he was like, this is the closest thing I'm ever going to get.
Yeah.
So he's like, if you guys could, I'd really appreciate it if you ordered cheese curds.
So we need to get a truck and fill it with blue cheese and cheese curds.
Yeah.
Which is going to be, don't do it in the summertime.
No, it's going to
You
have
don't
to
want
be.
to be driving down with that and you're baking in your truck. And just take it down there. These people are in desperate need for hunks of cheese.
They are. They don't know what they're missing.
No, they don't.
Nope.
All right. Captain's Jug of Thoughts. We're going to take a break.
This is the Captain's Jug of Thoughts podcast.
Okay. So I think it was October of 2006 or 7. Mm-hmm. And Mo was playing 3 nights at the ballroom.
Okay.
3 nights in a row. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
So we got tickets for the Friday show because we're like we said about the multiple nights in a row. Like
Yeah.
the last one, they're gonna throw it all out. It's a Friday night. It's in Buffalo, the home city.
Yeah, exactly.
They once again they own that goddamn club. Like they kill that shit.
Yep.
And so we had tickets for Friday, and then their guitarist Al hurt his hand, or he had like tinnitus or something. So he wasn't going to be playing, and they had some other dude from a band. I'm sure he was great, but at the time we didn't hear of him. He
Yeah.
was going to play guitar, and Al was going to like play keys or something, or like he wasn't going to be playing guitar, so it wasn't going to be full on Mo.
Right.
It was going to be some other guy, and we were like, "What the fuck?" And we still had tickets for Friday, so still whatever. And then we got hit with the October surprise, which was a ridiculous snow /
That was the ice storm?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason why it was so bad is because it was still October. The leaves hadn't come off the trees yet.
Right.
So all of the leaves on the trees got filled with it. Like they just got caked in this icy shit.
Yeah.
And it all
It
froze
was
overnight
awful.
and got heavy. And the sky started falling.
It really did. It was
all
one of the
trees
worst
were
storms I
breaking
ever
apart,
saw.
destroying cars. And they
Destroying houses.
destroying everything.
Yeah.
Anything, man. And like we were in Lewiston, and the way that there's that goddamn escarpment, it was like nice here.
Yeah, it was.
Weather just doesn't exist in Lewiston. It just doesn't. It's so weird. Like Buffalo will be like, you look on the news and it's post-apocalyptic, and everybody's freaking out. And
Yeah.
we're just like, we go for walks, and it's like nice out. People are walking their dog.
Yep.
So, yeah, it pretty much ruined that. And I believe there was a straight-up travel ban. And then we were like, fuck that, we're going. There's
Yeah.
so many times we would try to go to shows, even though there's a travel ban, and we pull up to the venue and there was nobody there.
Yeah.
And And we're like, whatever happened? They're like, there's a travel ban. Nobody's allowed to move, including the band and the people who were coming to the show. Like,
Exactly.
we don't know. We don't live in that world, man.
Yeah.
It's another universe, man. We're not held down by your goddamn rules.
Yeah, exactly.
This is rock and roll.
There are no rules.
So yeah, that Friday show got canceled. So
Oh,
kind of, and we were like pissed, but also I think it kind of, unless I'm blending two stories here, I think that was the time where Al wasn't playing.
Right.
So they rescheduled it to come back, and Al was back now. And they came out and like, dude, we were like right against the gate in the front, and they were just punching you in the face, just badass. Just they were killing it.
All right.
Because their Buffalo shows were dirty.
Yeah.
I remember going to see them like in the Midwest, and they had just put out an album, and they were playing a festival set, and they played like songs.
Yeah.
And they did a little jamming, but it was during the day. It wasn't at night. It was like more like, here's our new album set.
Yeah.
Which is what they got to do. And it's a different
course.
vibe. It's a different thing. And we were used to like dirty, late night, dark, drugged up Buffalo punch you in the face shows.
Right. Exactly.
Where they're like, dude, people in Buffalo are animals.
Yeah.
They want to go crazy. So we were like, what the fuck is this? So we're back at a Buffalo punch you in the face show to make up for what we missed.
Yeah.
And then like they come out for the encore, and there's just like so much smoke and fog in the place. It's a big ballroom, but it's still tight. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And the lights are going crazy. I'll never forget it. And Chuck comes out and they play "Time" by Pink Floyd.
Wow.
And like you didn't know it was coming, and the way they didn't do that whole long intro at the beginning, it was just they came out and then do taking away. the
Wow.
moment. And like, dude, I've never felt a fucking eruption like that.
That's
'Cause
awesome.
There's a lot of people in this place, but they're all tight. The way it's round, it's all together. It's
Yeah.
very cohesive, like little pocket.
place is great.
Yeah, it's a great place. Seen countless shows there.
Yeah.
And like that was one of those moments where you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And like you're, even though all the bullshit that led up to it, the October surprise, the hassle, Al hurting his hand, like coming to that,
It was all kind of a blessing.
yeah, like it was all culminated
For you.
into that like months later.
Not for most people in Buffalo.
That was the shit. Yeah, the guy who had to put a new roof on his house and is still paying for it.
Yeah,
Today.
exactly. Well, my brother had
Like, I'm
that
really
time.
glad that you had 4 minutes of fun at a concert.
Yeah. I had to pay $30,000 that I didn't have.
And then you get to drive back to your intact home.
My brother had just bought a dump truck. Probably right then. I mean, like a month before this ice storm hit. It was kind of a blessing for us too, because my brother and I just loaded up a bunch of like rakes, saws, chainsaws, tarps, threw them all in the back of the dump truck, and just drove to Buffalo like every day for like a month straight.
Wow.
And we were just like, yeah, we'll clean up your yard, $1,000 cash, you know?
Nice.
And
Because people are desperate for it.
yeah, so we just did that.
It
like
becomes like
every
the goddamn
day.
road warrior.
Dude, it was crazy. Like everyone was just like, how much? I'll go to the bank right now. You know, like
Yeah.
Nobody said no. Like we just would drive up to totally random houses, like pick a different neighborhood, like, you know, every couple days. And there was tons of people doing it. Like everyone was doing the same thing we were. And it was just like, it was great, you know, because I mean, we were, you know, in our like late 20s, mid to late 20s at the time.
Before
and,
your back starts hurting.
yeah,
Can't
you
do
know,
that
we're
shit
both
anymore.
in great shape. We're used to this kind of work.
Yeah.
We know what the fuck we're doing, you know. So like we're doing this. We're loading that freaking truck up. We had firewood for like 4 years, which is great around here, you know.
Yeah.
So and we had we had the means, we had the area to like drop all the wood. We had everything. So
The American dream.
yeah,
You
I mean
saw
every day.
opportunity and you took it.
Right. So every day we're coming home, you know, we'd throw $100 in, because it had two gas tanks. We'd throw like $100 in the thing like every day, because it was expensive to run. Like it was an old dump truck. So, you know, you throw $100 in there. We'd throw $100 off to the side for, you know, anything else we might need for it, like every single day. And then we'd have $500-$600 cash every single day. Like it was awesome.
Good
you know,
living.
yeah, like, you know, we were doing it up pretty good. It was a good time. for us. I'm sorry for everyone that lives in Buffalo, but
Yeah, it really worked out for me and you, huh?
yeah, it did. So God smiled for the two of us. I'm sorry for everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, weather don't give a fuck.
No.
I mean, I can't, like, you're going down to Florida, like, I can't imagine, and I have family down there, like, hurricanes are just part of life.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, they have their protocol, they have their things, like, they're just used to it.
Right.
But it's just, I don't know, man, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. When I first moved to Florida, it was right at the beginning of hurricane season, and sure enough, I'm there for 2 weeks. And I'm trying to learn this new job that that I moved down there to take. And the guy was he was kind of a jack of all trades outside of the actual. It was a lighting company, like landscape lighting, house lighting, like Christmas lighting, like everything like that. Well, outside of all that, he did all kinds of other shit. One of which was put up hurricane shutters. So we spent.
So once again, a good business for you.
Yeah. When Mother Nature calls, so do I.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic. But again, we were just making bank every day, like just throwing up these, because Florida people are old,
Yeah.
and they need the young man's help,
Right.
So these were. A lot of them, anyway, were normal customers of his that he did their Christmas lighting and stuff like that for. But it was October, and this hurricane was coming, and everyone knew it was coming. So, these houses are like $500,000 to $1 million houses, like and there's windows everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're just like hurricane shutters, boom, 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 like.
You're
It was
building
crazy.
a giant wall of hurricane shutters.
Some of the houses, like they literally, the back of their house,
It was all glass.
it was all.
That's the way my house
glass.
is. Dude, that's how my house is. And, like, we have huge trees
Yeah.
by where I live. And first of all, I'm just, when it's windy, is really windy, it's scary.
Yeah.
Because you look at the tops of these trees, and they're made to do that. Like, they're supposed to sway in the wind. You
Yep.
know, it's... Mother Nature knows what she's doing. They're rooted into the ground. Like, they're not coming out of the ground. But, holy shit, do they look like they are.
Right.
If you plant... Most of the trees that come out of the ground are because someone wanted trees there, and they just planted... They got trees from a Home Depot and planted it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they're not as solid in the ground, but it's fucking scary. And when shit fall... Like, a branch a foot long and, like, a quarter-inch around, if it falls from the top of the tree...
Yeah.
It sounds like a boat landed on top of your house. It's scary. Like it's really scary. And we have all glass windows on the back. So I'm just like, dude, like there's a branch is just gonna come flying through that one day.
Yeah.
We get birds hitting them once in a while. It's pretty funny because you look out, the bird's all fucked up.
Yeah. That happened to me last week. I came in to open the jug. I opened the front door and a sparrow flies right by my head. Wow. And I was like, whoa, what the hell was that? So I look around and all of a sudden I see him and he lands on the edge of the window in the kitchen and he's like pecking at the window, trying to get the hell away from me, I think, more than anything. And then, so I go in there and I'm trying to like move slow. I'm going to open the window for him and he flies into the kitchen. And I'm like, oh my God, he's going to fly right into one of the fryers. So anyway, he didn't.
You guys get these wings. These are really fresh.
Yeah. And so he didn't. And I was able to open the back door. And I just stepped outside and kind of just waited. I figured that he would probably see all of a sudden the giant light and head toward it.
Hopefully, yeah.
And he did. Sure enough, he flew right by me. And he's probably a lot happier now. So he must have flown in the night before. It was a little
been
warm.
here all night?
Yeah, and just kind of flying around in here.
Confused, dumbass animals.
Yeah. It wasn't the first time that something like that's happened to me, though. There's
I'm sure you
been
get all sorts of critters in here.
Well, there's been a small handful of times now that we have had to catch bats in here. One particular evening, I was going upstairs, and it's like pitch black up there. The only thing that there's any light at all is there's an exit sign.
That red light?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from outside.
No. It's
Like,
it's actually in the hallway up there.
Well, no, I'm saying like from outside, you look up in the window.
Oh yeah,
and there's
yeah.
a red light.
You can see it. That's it. Yep. So
You're like,
I
this is
turn
either
the corner.
Amsterdam or the devil.
Right. Yeah, pretty much. And then I turn the corner, and I can kind of, I have, luckily I still have pretty good vision. As far as I know, it's still perfect, but like, I have good vision, and I turn the corner, and out of the corner of my eye, I can kind of see something that appears to be headed right at me, So I just duck real fast.
Wow.
And I turn, and a bat. It's a bat. Like, at first, I didn't know that it was a bat, though. I was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And I turn, and it flies right by me again. And I'm like, because, now I'm in this tight hallway. So, and I'm like, oh, my God. I'm like, I turn on the light, and whew, this bat flies right by me. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So he ended up actually flying out the door and down into the bar.
Were there people here?
No, I had just closed, so
That'd be hilarious.
yeah, so it worked out okay, and I ended up catching him with a empty case of beer.
Oh, nice. you gotta get thrifty.
Right. So then that happened like 2 or 3 more times, and Pete, who we've had on the show before, our local historian and former owner, or still owner, whatever. He's one of the owners.
Yeah. Bat catcher.
Yeah, he and I have kind of mastered this thing together. One of us will get a broom, and one of us will get an empty case of beer.
It's like a weird type of sky hockey.
Yeah,
It's
so
like-
you smack and you
It's
smack.
like fucking Quidditch with that Harry Potter game.
Yeah, it really is.
You gotta catch the flying thing.
Yeah, so like one of us, whoever has the broom, will try as hard as they can to smack the bat out of the air toward the other person, where they catch it with the case of beer, fold it up, and go outside.
And you shout, "Go!"
Yeah. The Canadians would be very proud.
We gotta get one of the lights that go off like behind the hockey net.
Yep, exactly. So Pete and I, we're pretty good at
That's amazing.
Yeah,
They've had to do it that many times that you get good at it.
Yeah. We're pretty good at bat ball,
Bat catching.
bat catch ball.
If Bruce Wayne would have just done that, he wouldn't have ever done any of that other stuff.
No, we would have never had.
That's
Batman.
that's how you make a Batman.
That's how you make a Batman.
I recently invested into a new pedal board for my guitar rig, and all new cables, like expensive, nice, because that's your sound, that's your connection, that matters. I had all stuff that was very road worn.
Yeah.
It got me through a lot of years and countless gigs, but I needed to upgrade. So I got all new cables, little tiny cables. And on a pedal board, depending on how many pedals you have, it's like wiring, it's like making a little computer. You're connecting all these things, all these wires. You got to get them so they're clean, so you don't get it all tripped up. It takes hours and hours if you want to do it right, to really set all this stuff up. And the day I set it all, I put it downstairs in my rehearsal space. After I do all that, it's sitting down there, and I'm upstairs, and I hear my girl go, "Ah! Something's looking at me." And I go down, and she's like doing laundry, and there's a chipmunk downstairs.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, this little shit is about to chew through hundreds of dollars of brand new shit. So we had a hell of a time trying to figure out how he got in.
Yeah.
And I think there was like a hole like up on the top, like he got in and climbed down, but he couldn't get back up. Like once again, a broom was there, and I'm trying to like shuffle this little guy back up into the hole, and we're like, he's stuck in the corner by this thing, and we're like banging on the wall trying to scare him out one side.
Wow.
She's got like a 5-gallon bucket with a lid, and
Yep,
we're kind of trying to do the similar thing to you in the back.
It sounds very similar.
Yeah. And we played this game with this little bastard forever. And then I ended up calling my dad, because I know they have had similar problems out here in the goddamn country. And he had a little cage, because I went to the hardware store, and all they had was like the tape for like mice, or like the glue.
Yeah.
It's like poison and it'll kill them. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to do that. Like, I don't know. I feel bad just killing him because he wandered in because it's cold as shit out.
Right.
And
And chipmunks are kind of, they're cute.
They are cute. They make an awful noise. And I've talked about this for years. And everything I do is based in sound. I'm a musician. I produce music. I write about music that I have to listen to. I do this podcast. It's all audio based.
Yep.
And these little bastards sit right outside the window, right by my desk, and fucking chip, 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 chip. And they just ruin it. So my neighbors look out, and I'm like throwing rocks into the bushes to scare them away. They probably think I'm fucking nuts. But if anybody sees me doing that, that's why I'm doing that.
If anyone's noticed this,
Yeah. Or you guys would hear in the back of all the stuff we do, tip, tip, tip. And they don't do it. If they did it on time, like a metronome, I might be able to work with that. But they don't. Their timing sucks. Chipmunks have no rhythm.
they have no rhythm.
They suck. But these
Don't
kinda
let
cute.
Alvin fool you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they sing, but if you take away the click track, garbage.
Garbage.
They're all off. I said that one time. I was like complaining about the Chipmunks, and my one buddy goes, "What are they, like singing doo-wop and shit?" What is Alvin! I'm that guy.
I'm that guy. You are that guy.
So, yeah, Theodore, the chipmunk, is in my basement with all my brand new tiny little wires that are just begging for a little rodent to try to chew through them.
Right.
So I went and got a little trap, which, like, you ever, like, set up a trap for a rodent and, like, it closes on your hand and you've just never felt dumber? I caught myself.
I caught myself.
Not my finest moment. But we got that set up, and I went back the next morning, and he was in there and just, like, fucking all freaked out. I'm like, all right, buddy, we'll let you out. And we took him outside, and he's okay. And hopefully he learned his lesson. He's like, I'm not going back down there. It's weird.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah,
He will be
hopefully.
back to the window, though.
Yeah, little fuckers. Little fuckers.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, almost hit a deer here. This is a lot of shows I listen to are, like, based in the city. So they talk about things that happen on the subway. We're just talking about random animals that find their way.
The Road Warriors.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, maybe we should call it.
Yeah. we'll
I
wrap
got to
this
get
one
up early.
Yeah, you got a big fish show tomorrow.
I sure do.
Hopefully something crazy happens.
I hope so, and I'll be talking about it in 2 weeks.
Hopefully something crazy happens tomorrow and not the next show.
Exactly. Either way, I'll be talking about it in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, come on back in 2 weeks, and I'll fill you in.
All right. Captain's Jug of Thoughts. Patreon.com/Captain's Jug. Go to Facebook, you can find it. Go to YouTube's, you can find it. You go to Thermopolis.com, you can find it along with a bunch of other goodies, musical goodies. And if you ever listen to any of that music and you don't hear a chipmunk, you're welcome. Because I took the time to go outside and throw something at him.
All right.
Little fuckers. All right. We'll see you next time.
All right. Good night, everybody.